mindset that truly took away my insecurities and helped me gain confidence from within, or truly freed me from my insecurities. I should say freed me, because either way within life, no matter how confident you are, you think you are, you're going to be sometimes in situations where you're less confident, or you truly don't, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you care about a lot of things within life. You might have times where you actually care about what people think of you, right? So the main, like, mindset, right, I'll hop just straight into it, is just not giving a fuck, right? And I'm going to break it down within this video that's going to help you gain confidence within and free you from all the bullshit, all of the small little things that are slowly affecting you, that is killing you within your day and age of, like, people's judgments of you, or, you know, maybe even judgments of yourself, or even, you know, just like a lot of things have to do with a lot of other people. That's why they're insecure, because they care about what a lot of other people think, when truly all you should care about is what you think and what you do in your life and the way that you follow in your philosophies. That's the only way and only thing that the only way you should carry yourself, and the only thing you should actually care about, right? So let's hop into it, right? Not giving a fuck doesn't mean that you don't, like, give a fuck about, like, every little thing. The thing is, you only care about the things that matter to you, right? That's the only thing you should give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? I got this from the book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, right? But there's a small little things that should really, like, clear your base of what you care about, like what you do in a day, everything that you do, your profession, your purpose, what you love to do within your life. Those are the things that you should give a fuck about. The small things of your people's perception of you, or the embarrassing time that you farted in school and everyone laughed at you or whatever. Over time, you realize that time goes by and you truly don't give a fuck about it, right? It just gives you a sense of clarity of just not caring about every little thing in life, of just, like, not giving a fuck. Like, it's just like, when you think about it, when you really don't care, like, you have zero, like, fucks to give about, you maneuver throughout your day just freely, peacefully, and just more so in, like, a chill, like, mindful way of just, like, you don't care about whatever anybody's thinking about you, or whatever you, like, music you're listening to, or whatever, anything within your life that's causing judgment and, like, you know, harm to your confidence and who you are. When you don't give a fuck about that shit, you just don't give a fuck. You're just flowing at high vibrations. You're going through life, like, very peacefully and, you know, just happily. You don't care. But when you start to care about, oh, does my hair look okay, or does my eyebrow look okay, or does, you know, my haircut look okay, or does my shoes or my outfit look okay, you start to get all of these, like, bundles of, like, small little insecurities within yourself of, like, trying to perfect yourself, knowing that no one's perfect. And, you know what I'm saying, like, you start to feel less of yourself. And that's what is going to, this book, like, literally helped me, freed me. And I read this book years ago, and it's like, whenever I really get into down moments, I start to read the book again, because you start to realize, don't nothing matter, right? So let's go into it, right? Mark Manson doesn't care about anything. On the contrary, we mean that Mark Manson doesn't care about adversity in the face of his goals. He doesn't care about pissing some people off to do what he feels is right or important or noble. We mean that Mark Manson is the type of guy who would write about himself in third person just because he thought it was the right thing to do. He just doesn't give a fuck. And really, I want you to understand, like, really understand that feeling of when you don't truly care about anything. It's not affecting you. It's not even in your mind frame. You're not even thinking about doing something, or, you know, maybe it's for you, like, impressing someone, or, like, doing something to get, like, out of your way for that person or some shit. When you don't give a fuck, you're doing what you truly feel is right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, within yourself, you don't care. You don't care enough to go do something. So you should limit the amount of fucks you give. That's what I'm really trying to say, is you should limit the amount of time or the amount of things that you stress upon or that you truly care about. There can't be so many things that you truly give a fuck about. The more times you're trying to impress that girl, or the more times you're waiting on the text message, or the more times that you're really going out and doing things out of your way for other people or trying to impress people, you care about what they think. But in all reality, those are things you should not give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should truly feel it within that you don't care, and from that you will start to blossom like a fucking flower would blossom. Like, you don't care about things, and you only care about the things that you truly love. That's the only thing that you should care about within your life. You shouldn't give a fuck about what he's doing in his life or what she's doing in her life. You should care about what you're doing in your life and focusing on yourself, and then you can start to help other people. You know what I'm saying? So he says he just doesn't give a fuck. This is so admirable. No, not me, dumbass. The overcoming adversity stuff, the willingness to be different, an outcast, a pariah, all for the sake of one's own values. The willingness to stare failure in the face and shove your middle finger back at it. The people who don't give a fuck about adversity or failure or embarrassing themselves or shitting the bed a few times. The people who just laugh and then do what they believe in anyways because they know it's right. They know it's more important than they are, more important than their own feelings and their own pride and their own ego. They say fuck it, not to everything in life, but rather to everything unimportant in life, the things that they don't give a fuck. People who don't give a fuck about a certain thing, you just don't care about it. Like, they are seen higher because they truly don't care about it. Think about in a relationship, right? When you truly don't give a fuck about that person anymore, it's just like you're free. There's no like connection or soul tied, like being like withholding you to care about that person or to go text that person or to go fuck that person or hit that person up or whatever. You don't even care to because you truly don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So they say fuck it, not to everything in life, but rather to everything unimportant in life. The things that don't matter. Think about the things that don't matter in your life that you actually care about. That person's point of view of you shouldn't, like, you care about it so much that you're trying to impress certain people to get friends or whatever. You should allow that shit to come to you. Because when you start to focus on yourself and not give a fuck about that, everything starts to flow within you. You know what I'm saying? If you're texting a girl and she's not responding or she acting up, you get this feeling of like not giving a fuck. Once you start to really implement the things that you care about, like your YouTube or your purpose or your goals, you start to care about that way more because I give a fuck about that. You feel me? I care a lot about my YouTube. I care a lot about, you know, my family and friends and my connection with them. And I care about like a lot of things about like the gym and, you know, my diet and my focus and my goals. I care about more about that than texting this random girl who's like, maybe she's like taking slow to respond, or maybe she's like the complete opposite of you. And you don't like, you just start to like, ew, no, I don't care about this person as much. I don't give a fuck. You let that shit go because I care about my purpose. You know what I'm saying? That's why you should have a purpose in life, because that's the number one thing you're supposed to focus on. You know what I'm saying? So they say fuck it to not everything in life, but rather to everything unimportant in life. They reserve their fucks for what truly matters. Friends, families, purpose, burritos, and an occasional lawsuit or two. And because of that, they reserve their fucks for only the big thing that matters. People give a fuck about them in return. So when you care about somebody or you give a fuck about that, you start to realize like you have a connection with that person, right? So if you have a lot of homeboys or friends, but like you start to drift off and some shit like that, and you start to not give a fuck about a certain few, right? Because within my life, I had like a big friend group of 10 friends, let's say 10 friends or whatever. But then like they started to drift off into other pathways, which is cool. And it's all love because I don't have the, like, I don't not love them. Like I still got love for them, but it's like, I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? Like I have my 4 friend group, like my 4 homies out of that like 10 friend groups. You know what I'm saying? Like of those 10 people that I fucked with heavy back when I was a kid, I still stand with 4 of my homies. Those are the people that I truly give a fuck about. Like those are the people that are worthy to give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? Like if they call me and they have a problem and they're about to get jumped or some shit, I'm going to be there for them because those are the people that I love, that I give a fuck about. The other people, I'm not saying I don't give a fuck about, but it's not to the level of the people I truly care about. The constant, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the regular people, maybe your like co-workers that you're somewhat cool. It's like, I'm not about to ride or die for that person. The people that I like, those 4 friends, I'm a ride or die for them. Those are the people I love. That if they have problems, any situation, if they need to talk, they come to me. Those are the people I love. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that you're supposed to care about. God, you should care about God. I care about God a lot. And I know within him, I can let everything flow and nothing matters. So my insecurities or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you get hit out of nowhere with like some insecure feelings or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or caring about what other people think about. But then I always think about like, I just don't care. Like I don't even, nothing matters, because if you realize like this life doesn't even fucking matter. It's not like you can't take all of the materialistic things with you. You can't take money with you. You can't take people with you. You can't even take, like, you know what I'm saying, your wife or with you that you've been with like for 60 years or whatever. You can't take that person with you when you die. All that matters is you and God. Truly, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you're rich or you're poor. You're still human. You still bleed the same way I bleed. So whether your religious beliefs or whatever, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's the thing that I care about. I like to go to like church on Sundays and like praise the Lord and like, You know what I'm saying? I'm not the perfect Christian. I'm not gonna lie to you, but like God is a big like focus in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like peace within myself, that's big. I care about myself. I care about my diet. I care about the gym. I care about my family. I care about my you know what I'm saying, my homies. You know what I'm saying? Like limiting my care, like what I give a fuck about is what really matters. And this is eye-opening because like you trying to do everything to impress that girl, you trying to do everything to impress that friend group, because I remember kids that way back in in middle school and high school who were like groupies in a way where they're trying to be cool with everyone, and they'll come to like my group and try to be buddy and like they'll like basically dick suck the shit out of us. And I didn't understand it because in a way I was seen, like my group was seen as like the popular group, because like, you know what I'm saying, when you're in high school and you're a dickhead, you're always in trouble. Like your name's always going around. So my name was always fluctuating throughout the school. My homies, like we just doing dumb shit, like, you know what I'm saying? So like people saw that and they wanted to be cool with us. Not saying like we were bad people, not at all, but like, you know what I'm saying, like people wanted to be like us, or like, you know what I'm saying, like they saw like not wanted to be like us, but like wanted to be cool with us, because in that way of like all negative things are always like seen as higher. So we were like, I guess some popular kids within the school, and like, you know what I'm saying, like we always stuck within our group. Like I didn't give a fuck. Like my 4 homies, even through high school, I stuck with them. Like that was like the homeboys, like for real. And you know what I'm saying, like a lot of people would try to be groupies. I remember seeing people who would like dick suck the shit out of us. And honestly, I remember sometimes I'll be a dickhead. I'll be like, yo, like leave us alone. Like I don't fuck with you. Like I remember this one kid, I was like I was a bit of rude, but I was like, yo, like leave us alone. Like you, like he didn't, not in the way he didn't fit it with us, but it was just like, bro, you doing too much. Like you dick sucking the shit out of us. Like back up. Like yo, like go to your own like group. Like not to be like a dick. Like I was a bit of a dickhead at that time, but shit, like I was like, bro, you doing too much for us, like to like impress us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause we were seen as like the kids always in trouble. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we would always like play fight within our group, within like, you know what I'm saying? Like at school, like we would start yoking each other up, or like, you know, start slap boxing or start flaming each other. So then this dude would do all of that to like other people, like random people. I'm like, yo, bro, like back up. Like we don't even do that to other people. You know what I'm saying? Like that's within our group where we wrestling around the fucking locker rooms, yoking each other up, fighting a little bit, slap boxing and shit. Like that's what we did. But like if that's not you, like stay in your lane. You know what I'm saying? Like stop trying to impress us. But in that way, he gave a fuck about every single thing that we kind of thought about him. Like you can manipulate these type of people in a way that I've realized now. Like I read a lot of books about, like, you know what I'm saying, manipulation, but I wouldn't even do that to people like that. I wouldn't use them to go do things for me. Like I wouldn't do that. But with people like that, you can, because they're so their impression of life matters so much to you, like about what you think about them. You know what I'm saying? Like those, in that way, you got to break out of that and let things come to you. Like within my friend group, those are the people that I stuck with all my life. Like I didn't give a fuck about anybody else or meeting a lot of other people. No, not saying I wouldn't like fuck with them, but like my group is my group and I'm ride or die for them. Those are the people I give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? So check this out too. I once heard an artist say that when a person has no problems, the mind automatically finds a way to invent some. I think what most people, especially educated, pampered, middle-class white people, consider life problems are really just a side effect of not having anything more important to worry about. It then follows that finding something important and meaningful in your life is perhaps the most productive use of your time and energy. Because if you don't find that meaningful something, your fucks will be giving to meaningless and frivolous, I don't know what that word is, frivolous causes, right? Causes. So why your purpose in life, and why I'm aligned on my goals and my YouTube and things like, you know, editing and, you know, making my videos, as you guys know, and hitting the gym, because that's what makes me happy. That's what I love to do, and seeing progress within my YouTube or in the gym, just seeing myself. Like sometimes I'm looking in the mirror when I get a pump, bro. I'm looking like, damn, like I'm happy as shit. Like I care about that. I don't give a fuck about, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the thing is, a lot of people get body dysmorphia because they care so much about how other people look and all other people's perceptions of like life and how they view it. So when they see like a dude steroided out, right? Like completely like steroid. I'm talking about like Ronnie Coleman, or even like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people not gonna look like that, but just steroided out. You can tell this motherfucker's on steroids. I never get insecure about that, but other people would. They will see that and be like, yo, my arms aren't big enough, or my shoulders aren't big enough, or my chest isn't big enough, or my legs aren't big enough. Me, I'll keep it a fucking 1,000. I don't give a fuck. Like, I promise you, and that radiates in my aura because I'm always so secure in myself because I care about the things that I have focused on. When I'm focused on that line of hitting the gym, I'm not worried about the bitches in the gym. I'm not worried about the dudes in the gym. I'm worried about getting this fucking pump and completing my goals in the gym of hitting certain weights. That's the shit I care about. I don't give a fuck about that big booty bitch in the gym. Well, in a way, like, I start looking a little bit, but I truly don't give a fuck because I'm in the gym for a reason. Other people, you'll see other people in the gym, they're talkative, they're all like, just talking for 20, 30 minutes within sets and shit. Bro, that's not me. I'm in the gym to put in some motherfucking work. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't give a fuck about all of these people in the gym. Like, no disrespect. Like, I got a lot of acquaintances in the gym. But truly, like, I'm in the gym to really work and focus on myself and lock in. So that radiates in my aura. And also, a lot of people, like almost everyone you meet is insecure. Women, biggest thing that they are is insecure. That's why they wear the makeup. That's why they wear the fajas to like cover their fat. That's why they wear lashes, makeup, nails, hair done. Everything's fake because they're so insecure and care about so much of what other people think and what society thinks of them. You know what I'm saying? Not saying don't take care of yourself. I care about how I look. I don't give a fuck because if I get fat, I'm going to care about how I look, like truly care, like, yo, bro, you got to tighten the fuck up. But that's impossible because, well, I'm not going to say impossible, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always in the gym, always in the lab. I'm always active, and I always care about how I look and how I carry myself and how I present myself to the world because that's what matters within me. I care about how I'm viewed because in a certain way, not to the aspect of like, oh, I care about what he thinks or she thinks or this. I care about what I think about that situation, right? Because if a business owner comes up to me and he wants me to like go to this meeting with a bunch of millionaires, I'm not gonna come in sagging my pants with a snapback sideways on some street shit. I'm coming in suited and booted in a suit in a presentable manner because I care about what that person or these people are gonna think about me. Because in that aspect, I want to grow in my business and make more money. So I'm not about to come in talking mad shit, talking mad slang with my snapback sideways and shit. No, but I care about in this perception about what these people think about me because it matters. My first impression matters. You think I'm coming in sagging my fucking pants at at a business meeting with millionaires? No. So in that aspect, I do care about with a little bit of what they think about me, but truly within me, I'm always going to be myself. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have that purpose, you're not going to have anything to focus on. You're going to drift. You're going to care about the little things, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to care about all types of shit. If you look at like millionaire problems, they don't have like brokey problems. They have problems of finding themselves of like, what's the next step to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at millionaires who are like, that say those depressing quotes, is because they made all the money in the world. Now they don't have anything else to strive for. That's why, like, when I talk about my old head from back in the day, back in like my old job, he used to tell me like, yo, he's a millionaire or everything, but life is whack. It's meaningless without a purpose. It's boring without doing something that, like, having something to strive for and what you love. That's why I say I'm never going to stop to hit the gym because he never did either. It's something that you got to do. It's something that like you're striving for. Like, I want to hit a 3-plate dip for like 5 reps. Like, that's fire. That's one of my goals. That's some shit I'm striving for day in and day out. So what do I have to do within that purpose? I got to eat right. I got to sleep right. I got to train right. I should follow like a right protocol on how to train and how to get stronger or whatever, gain more knowledge within the gym so I can attain and acquire that goal. The same way with being a millionaire. I'm listening to them all day, every day talk. So I care about being a millionaire. I care about hitting the gym. I don't give a fuck about what other people are talking about. Like, if you see me in the gym sometimes, bro, I promise you, I will be over there just rapping. Like when I'm listening to music, I'm bumping. Like, I got that pre-workout in me, bro. I don't give a fuck who's around me. I don't give a fuck if it's a bad bitch, if it's an old head. I don't give a fuck who's in front of me or around me. I'm gonna be spitting. When G Herbo talking his shit, he said 12-hour slave shifts, but I be on yachts. I ain't come from off no slave shift. Pull up in that drop. You gonna hear me spit that. You gonna hear me like out loud, like really spitting. like, cause it's fun. That's where I release my stress. Like, I'm putting in work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you will hear me grunting and like moaning at certain times within the gym because I'm putting in that work, and I don't give a fuck what these bots like think or care about, like, or say about me, or like look at me like, oh, he's grunting in the gym. Bitch, I'm putting in work. Like, if you work with me, I'm putting in work. There's no It's like I'm touching failure damn near every set. So you gonna hear that, like, you know what I'm saying? You gonna hear that occasional groan or moan, but I don't care about what other people think. I'm focused. I have that purpose. And when you don't have purpose, you're going to trip and dwell over all the little things. You're going to care about what this girl thinks about you or what he thinks about you. Or, you know what I'm saying? You're going to start to care about the celebrities online. I don't give a fuck about Rihanna and her having a baby and fucking A$AP Rocky cheating on her. I don't give a fuck about that shit. That's why I'm saying you got to limit the things that you give a fuck about. You have to. That's the only way to free, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, free your mind of like the stress and agony of life, of like everyone seeing shit as so depressing. It's because they give a fuck about every little thing in the world. Like, they care about everything. Did you hear about the motherfucking Rihanna, all these like celebrities? I don't give a fuck about Rihanna. She ain't giving me no money. She ain't fucking on me, so I don't give a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, another thing a lot of people give a fuck about, including myself. This is something I truly give a fuck about. Is like basketball and like NBA. I give a fuck. I choose to give a fuck about the Knicks that I watched when I was a kid. I used to watch them and listening to them when we was poor. We didn't even have motherfucking like radio. Like, we didn't have cable or TV. So my mom bought me like this little like radio, and I promised on my life I would sit by the radio with a little pillow on the floor. Cause I remember at this time I'm like the 4th grade. I was sleeping on the couch, and that shit was uncomfortable, bro. I didn't have a room, nothing. Sometimes I'll sleep on the floor because I remember my dad telling me, like, yo, you build your back when you sleep on the floor. So I used to sleep on the floor with my little pillow, and I have the game going up on the radio, listening to the Knicks, listening to my boy Carmelo, like, drop some fucking buckets, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember that shit. And that's something I gave a fuck about. I remember one time crying when I was a kid, bro. I swear to God, this is how much I cared about the Knicks, bro. I promise on my life, this is a funny story. So it's the preseason game of the Knicks, bro. Like, they playing the Charlotte Bobcats yes, this is when they were the Bobcats, not even the Hornets, the Bobcats. So this is how you know it's years back. I actually get to watch the game. I remember on the TV, because I guess we got cable at this time, and you know what I'm saying, I remember watching it on the square box TV that's not a flat screen. You know how everything's flat screen now? You know, like, we had the box TV for the longest. I remember playing my PS3 on that and everything, bro. Funny story, right? So we up 25 like in the 4th quarter, right? And they took out all the starters, right? So Carmelo's not playing. You know, it's preseason, bro. This doesn't even matter. It doesn't affect the regular season record. It's preseason. This is how much I gave a fuck about the Knicks back then. This is how much love I had for them. So Kemba Walker, I remember this day specifically. My little sister and my sisters will always mention this to me because they knew I was a ride or die Knicks fan for real. So Kemba Walker starts lighting shit up. We're up 25 points. Kemba Walker start getting buckets. I'm watching this shit. I'm seeing our lead slowly decrease. And this is when we sucked at the time. Like, I'm talking about, like, we got like 17 wins in one season. Like, that's how bad we were. But I cared so much. Like, I watched every game. Bro, Kemba Walker start coming out, hitting 3s, step backs, wilding on our shit. So then it's the 4th quarter. And they put back the starters and Melo and everything. I'm like, okay, we gonna win. Don't worry. Like, I'm there, bro. I'm crying at this point because I'm seeing our lead decrease. I promise I was crying. Like, it's so funny, bro. Like, I was dead crying for a preseason game. I'm like in the 4th grade, bro. So don't flame me too hard in the comment section. But you know what I'm saying? I care so much about it. And we getting dropped off by the 4th, like the end of the 4th, like 2 minutes. We now losing by 10 and this, that. Bro, I started crying because I couldn't believe it. I was like, bro, my fucking team. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, yo, I'm crying like a bitch and shit. My sister's coming in laughing. And I remember, you know what I'm saying? I remember my sisters coming in laughing and shit. Like, yo, it's just a game. It's just basketball. It doesn't matter because they don't give a fuck about basketball. You see the perception of, like, someone who cares about the NBA and the Knicks and their favorite team compared to someone who doesn't even give a fuck because it doesn't even matter to them. They come into my room or the living room, which was like my room kind of thing. But they see me watch the TV and I'm on the bed, like on the floor, crying like a motherfucker, bro. I'm dead in tears, bro. I'm seeing we getting dropped off. We end up losing the game and I'm crying. I cried for like at least 20 minutes after the game was done. That's how much of crying I did. Like a bitch, bro. I cared so much about the Knicks. I couldn't believe it. I was, bro, heartbroken. From a preseason game. My sisters come in, it does, like, laughing because, like, yo, it doesn't matter. Like, what are you talking about? It's a basketball game. I'm like, yo, you never understand, bro. Like, yo, leave me alone. You'll never understand, bro. And that's how much I gave a fuck about the Knicks, bro. No funny shit. If you knew me, especially when I was a youngin', I defended the Knicks like with my life. That's how much I cared about it. Like no one was coming around me saying anything bad about the Knicks. And I remember we was so bad, but every day, you know what I'm saying? Because I was listening on the radio that I remember like 4th, 5th, 6th grade, we started to get the Chromebooks and shit. And my homies, and we would be in homeroom and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like homeroom, like before it starts, like you get to eat your breakfast and shit. I'll be in the back of the room. I don't give a fuck about anything else in this classroom. I don't even care about the teacher at this point. I don't give a fuck. I finally get to see the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? That's how much I give a fuck about them. I care so much about it. You know what I'm saying? I finally get to watch the Knicks. I didn't get to listen to it. But even though listening to it was very fun and entertaining, I promise you, that was like a good experience for me. I remember. But I finally get to watch them now because I could search up on the Chromebook and YouTube Knicks highlights and shit. So I would get to watch. I'll be over there eating my cereal. I swear to God. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about the homies coming in. None of that. I'm locked in on the game at the back of the homeroom. And all the homies knew that every single day. They're coming back in the back of the class and watch with me because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I cared so much about the Knicks and about basketball. That's all I give a fuck about for real. And all the homies be like, yo, y'all got dropped off again. Like, let me know, bro. Y'all got fucked up. I'm sitting there looking at him with a mean stare. I'm like, yo, don't play with me right now. Because I'm watching us get fucked up on the highlights, right? I'm telling you, we won like 17 games. You know what I'm saying? I care about them so much, I talk as if we're on the team. You know, I say we. Do you see how I do that subconsciously? We, like, because I'm a Knicks fan, so I feel like, nah, I'm really a Knicks fan, so we, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, that's how much I gave a fuck about them. But in all reality, as I got older, like, we just played in the playoffs. I still watch the games, but it will never affect me like how it did when I was a kid. Like, never. Because I don't care as much, but I do care about the Knicks in the same way. Like, I watched every playoff game so far. Like, when we got dropped off by the Pacers. Them bitch ass dude, bro. Pacers sorry as shit too. Like, they're not even nice. We was just hurt. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I care about the Knicks, but never to that extent when I was younger. If you see how you care about things and certain things you give a fuck about. Like, for instance, hockey. I don't give a fuck about hockey. Like, no disrespect to people who play hockey or like hockey. Me, I don't give a fuck about that shit. You don't give a fuck about bowling or golf or some shit. Like, you don't give a fuck about that shit. You can care less about it. And like, you start to see that point of view is like, oh, someone comes up to you, tells them like his favorite bowler lost. Like, you're looking at him like, give a fuck. Like, I don't, like, this is not my sport. But if they talk about basketball, you like, oh shit, like, don't talk about my team in a certain way. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you have a sort of attachment to it and you have to detach from it. Because another thing that I've learned, shout out to Mad Musana, bro. My favorite, one of my favorite YouTubers. Go subscribe to bro. Send love to bro. Like, if you like me, you gonna like him. You feel what I'm saying? But he taught me, you know what I'm saying? Because he's more into the spiritual, like, realm and shit like that. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm, like, you know, I like to meditate and everything to get my mind focused. But I'm not OD spiritual because I follow, like, not Buddhism. I follow God, you know what I'm saying? Like, that way they kind of follow Buddha and stuff like that. But a good practice is that, like, realizing that nothing matters. Like, nothing matters. Like, understand, like, when you were embarrassed, like, in the 4th grade, when you know what I'm saying? Like, when you fart in school, and, like, on the rug, and everyone's like, ew, disgusting. You know what I'm saying? You remember those days? Because I would be like, yo, like, that wasn't me. I'd be lying like a motherfucker. Like, yo, that wasn't me. That was bro right here. He's like, no, you lying. I'm like, nah, fuck out of here. That was you. Yo, I remember doing that shit. Like, nah, motherfucker, that was you, boy. Get your stink ass on. Like, as if I wasn't the one who farted. You know what I'm saying? But back then, I gave a fuck about that so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone cared about that. But, like, days go by. They don't mention it. Weeks go by. They not mentioning it. So it doesn't matter at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, over time, it doesn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Not like certain things like matter. Like, if you do some outrageous shit, you know what I'm saying? It's going to matter and carry on with you and your name and your legacy, of course. But certain little small things like that. Like, I remember I used to be stressing, like, yo, if they found out I farted on the fucking couch and shit, or on the carpet, like, yo, like, that was big news. Like, you remember when you was a kid, 3rd grade, like, yo, like, ew, that stink ass dude farted on the rug, and everybody around the class talking that shit, and you just like, yo, man, fuck y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it hit you because you gave a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying? But even now, like, even if I got a shorty, she farting around me, I don't like it. Like, watch out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I swear to God, like, people try to play me out, like, when you get in a relationship, you know what I'm saying? Like, you supposed to fart around people and do this. Fuck out of here. Burps and farts, you better say excuse me. That's a fact. I don't give a fuck who you are. If you fart around me, especially if you fart around me, say excuse me. Because if not, like, you know what I'm saying? If I got a shorty around me, I'm gonna be mad as hell. Like, yo, stop. Like, bro, like, take that shit elsewhere, right? It might be childish to other people. If to me, I don't give a fuck. That's what I care about. Like, yo, don't fart around me. You know what I'm saying? So nothing matters at the end of the day. Like, even like I said earlier, you're not taking no money with you. You're not taking your car, your private jet, your plane, whatever the fuck with you when you die. So nothing really matters. You know what I'm saying? Even when you're like a peasant slave, or not a peasant slave, but like a homeless person, you are still equal in the eyes of God. That's what matters, because when you die, it's going to see, like, God's going to see like what you did within your life, and based off his judgments is going to see like whether you enter hell or heaven. And at that plane, the richest of the rich and the poorest of the poor are equal levels. That's what matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, in this world, the richest like seen as higher, and the poor seen as like, you know what I'm saying, like slave in a way. But in the eyes of God, they're equal. That's what like is so deep about this shit, is that nothing really matters. And then in this book, it goes into the philosophy of like living your life as YOLO. This is freeing and empowerment as a person. Living your life as YOLO. Do you know what that means? You only live once. So, I forgot what J. Cole said. He said some shit about, like, if you see a beautiful girl or some shit, that's probably the only time you're going to see her, so you got to go up to her or some shit. Like, some shit like that, because, like, you probably never going to see her again. So, I forgot the bar, but it was a bar. You only live once. So, when you implement this in your brain, you start to give fucks about, like, you start to care about what you give a fuck about. You don't give a fuck about, like, quite honestly, even with family members, you don't care about their drama. You don't care about that shit because it's going to affect you in a negative way. You don't care unless it's someone that you truly love within. Your spouse, your sisters, your brothers, your family, your mom and dad. You care about their problems because you care about them. But other people, this random bot comes and tells you his life problems. Genuinely, no matter how bad it is, you might have a sense of feeling of remorse, of like, yo, my family died, or I lost my girlfriend, or she cheated on me, or this, that. But genuinely, you don't know that person, so you really don't give a fuck, right? And I'll take this in the aspect of like something deeper, right? So when one of my family members died when I was a kid, I remember, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that person was like not mentally ill, but like he was like disabled, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna mention no names and shit. But in a way, he was disabled. And, you know, that affected a lot of people within my family. I remember like the funeral. Why the fuck is my brain dead? So I remember the funeral, right? And everyone's crying. And I'm like about like six years old at this time. And, you know what I'm saying? I didn't interact with that person. I didn't really know that person that much. But I loved that person. I remember helping that person sometime, like walk to the store and shit like that. That was it. So, like, I wasn't around that person all day, every day. Like, no, I wasn't like that. So I remember the day of the funeral, like, everyone's crying because, like, obviously they know him. All the older heads, my mom and her family, like, my family within, like, you know, that knows him, they're all crying and shit. And I remember as a kid, like, I specifically remember this moment of, like, I didn't really know him, but I see everyone else, like, around me crying. So I started to cry as if I, like, true, like, it's not that I didn't care about this person because it was, like, my family member. But I didn't really know that person, so, like, I didn't really care as much, you know what I'm saying? And that's being brutally honest. Like, some people can't even be brutally honest of like, oh, what's wrong with you? Why aren't you crying? Like, you know, some shit around that, like in the funeral. I thought it was wrong that I didn't cry, you know what I'm saying? So I started to force myself to cry as if like I knew that person, as if we went way back and shit like that. But then generally, I'm a 7-year-old kid. I don't know this guy as much, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just starting to get more life and consciousness. So, like, I didn't know him, but I see everyone else crying, so I forced myself to cry. But generally, I wouldn't have cried if, like, I didn't see anybody else cry because I didn't really know him like that. You know what I'm saying? But, like, God bless his soul and shit like that. But, you know what I'm saying? You start to see the things that you care about, and you care about that. That's the biggest thing. It's so freeing and enlivening because when you live your life as YOLO as well, back to that bar of, like, what J. Cole said, you can go, like, you won't care to go up to a girl. And if she dubs you, it is what it is. I remember going up to girls in the gym all the time and just being like a little thought back when I was a younger, like about 17, 16 within my old gym. I would go up to so many girls and they would like dub me and shit like that. But they were all older, like 20s, 25. I'm like, bro, I'm 16, 17 trying to spit some fucking game as a youngin'. But that's another story. But basically, over time, like, at that time, like, I cared so much about rejection. I cared so much about, like, oh my God, like, that bitch rejected me. Like, yo, it would hurt my ego. It hurt my confidence. But, like, over time, as you get rejected, you start to learn, like, it ain't shit. Or even if you, like, go up to a girl and you start to get her number, you'd be like, yo, that shit was easy. Like, what the fuck? Like, it doesn't affect your confidence if you get rejected, nor, if you get the number. You still who you are. That's the main thing. I don't give a fuck if I get rejected right now. I don't care. I'll go up to any bitch. I don't care if I get rejected. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter to me. Like, YOLO, you only live once. I'm probably gonna see this bitch only once, so I'll go up to her. But more times than not, I was in the gym, so I was getting up to mad women, like mad girls, but I would always see them. And in a way, this is how I knew my confidence was really rising as a kid, was because, you know what I'm saying, like, the girls would be, like, a little awkward around me. Like, if I go, like, they on the bench, and this is the only bench, because that gym used to be fucking jumping at all times. If this is the only bench, bitch, I'm still going to ask you, yo, how many sets you got? I don't give a fuck if I ask for your number, whatever it is. And in a way, it felt like they were, like, a bit awkward, but I always lived by this thing. And I always remember telling my old shorty this too, because she would always be like, oh, like, less confident of herself and shit. And I was really that dude, especially when I was really gaining my confidence in who I am. And I'm still that dude, but like back then I used to really talk my shit. Like, I ain't like ×5. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, no filter. Like, I'll be like, she'll be all like less confident of herself, and I would just be like, it doesn't matter. Like it's only awkward if you make it awkward. Like, I didn't care about what other people think. If I went up to that girl's number and she dubbed me and she made us feel awkward, I'm not feeling awkward. I don't care. It's just, bitch, how many sets you got? So I didn't care, but that also built my confidence when I was younger, because over time, like, when you first get rejected, it's like heartbreaking. Like, you're like, yo, what the fuck? Like, oh my God, like, this bitch rejected me. It hurts your whole ego and self-esteem. But over time, if you keep getting rejected, you're not gonna give a fuck. If you keep getting girls' number, you're gonna feel a boost of like a little bit of happiness. But over time, you become like, once you become more confident in your inner game of like who you are, and you start to develop yourself and not care about every little thing, that getting her number is bare minimum. It's just like, I get her number, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean nothing really. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? You don't care as much. Like, you don't care whether I get her number or if I don't, but I do want to get her number, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that living your life of YOLO, like, you only live once, basically. Like, that's a good way to like live, because then in that way, you're not going to be like all up in your head whether you should go up to this girl number, or you should do this work, or you should, you know, go and ask for like this type of job or something like that. You're not going to care. You're going to go every single time, because if you only live once and have one day to live, that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, do what you want to do. If you ask this bitch, yo, you want to come over and fuck, and she say no, it is shit, it is what it is what it is. You see what I'm saying? You gonna keep going within your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, life still goes on. Because think about this too, before I end this video. Think about this. Every little thing that you went to, right? Every little thing, you ended up coming out that situation like alive. That's it. That's all that matters. Start to see a lot of different like point of views of life where, you know what I'm saying, even no matter how bad or the lowest of the low, like, you still overcame shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter how bad life was. I remember my life, bro. I don't even want to get into that, but like, bro, I remember those days where it was so bad, so depressed, whatever the fuck. And I overcame it, and like, so much shit was happening in my life, but it was the lowest of the low that I ever felt in my life. But in order to feel the highest of the highs, you should feel the lowest of the lows. Not even a fucking, that's no cap, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're not going to be grateful for the wealth that you get if you weren't poor. Because if you were rich and you just get more richer, you're just not going to give a fuck about money. But if you're poor and you were dead broke, you had no money, but then you really start to get money, it means a lot more to you. You start to give a fuck about getting money so you can provide for your family and all sorts of things. But if you're rich and born into a rich family, you don't care. You don't value money as much as a broke person would. You know what I'm saying? It's like a yin and yang type of thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, like back to the, like, this whole philosophy of like living YOLO and like not caring and nothing matters. It's like, it's true, because it doesn't matter. You don't give a fuck. You're not supposed to give a fuck about this person's point of view or their perception of you unless you care about that person, unless you genuinely want to give a fuck about them. Because like, if not, you'll be like freed of like all insecurities or like anything about what anybody's saying about you, because you don't give a fuck, because you don't care. It's so strong to believe like this. And I don't know what made me go back to this book, but damn, that like enlivened me, because like, I start to really feel like, yo, nothing really matters. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm focused on my goals. I'm focused on that. That's the only thing that I care about. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to die. I'm still not going to, like, you know what I'm saying? I can't bring, like, I'm going to get a fucking a Corvette. I can't bring that with me when I die. You know what I'm saying? It just matters, like, more so spiritually. And, like, another thing I'll say is, like, I'll leave everything into God's hands. Whether, you know what I'm saying, like a partner, like for girlfriends. I know a lot of guys in my comment section, they be stressing these hoes so much. Like, they be like, yo, I need a girlfriend. I'm stressing about this girl. Like, she's not texting me back. Like, bro, let God, like do it for you. Like, if you genuinely want a girlfriend to grow with and live with, like, take the steps of, like, for me, like, for my partner of life,
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a thought right now, but like my partners of life, of like how I like really see it, is like I will go to church, and I know over the hard time and all the work, I will find someone beautiful from church, because I want someone beautiful, pure, who's aligned with the life of God. That's what I care about. I don't care about anything else about that. I was saying, leave it in God's hands. If I wanted a partner that y'all stressing so much about women, leave it in God's hands. He gonna put somebody good within your life if you really grind it. If you not doing nothing, you just want a bitch to show up to you and just do everything for you, whatever, your ideal bitch or your ideal woman, like, you're not, like, I don't feel as if you even deserve that. Like, put in that work and let God bring that towards you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what matters. Like, that's like, leave it all in God's plan. Like, in a way, leave like even your life and your how you maneuver and your philosophies of your life, of what you do, in God's hands, of what you love to do, and let that outcome become the outcome throughout your hard work, and He will reward you. You know what I'm saying? Like how they, like a lot of spiritual people be like, let the world reward you, or like the world will reward you for your like works and the law of attraction shit. I believe it's God that's going to reward me. You know what I'm saying? Like He sees my hard work. He sees me really actively grinding every single day. So I know I'm gonna grow. I know I'm gonna get lit. I'm gonna do everything I say I'm supposed to do with His help. And you know what I'm saying? Like I said, everything, like in past video, everything has to do around a bitch, bro. Everything revolves around bitches, bro. I don't understand that. Like I really don't. But I love y'all, bro. And that's all I have for this video, bro. Is like, the thing that really gained my confidence and pain, all that struggle shit, was just not giving a fuck. It's detaching away from all of the bullshit in your life. That's what really matters. So I love y'all, bro. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, bro. And if you want a one-on-one consultation with me, if you want to, like, you got any problems, whatever, for an hour or 30 minutes, you can go. I'm gonna leave it in the description where you could buy it and like, take some time out your day, and you know I can help you with your whatever problem you got going on in your life. So I'm gonna leave that in the description if you want a one-on-one consultation. And I'm also gonna make a Patreon on the fucking game and get more women in your life, so that you don't even have to stress about bitches the way you stress about bitches. You see what the fuck I'm saying? So I love y'all, bro. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, bro. And stay yourself, stay 300, and whatever you do in life, trust me, I believe it, bro.